Okay, so this is part 3. This is part 3. We just completed part 2. Part 2 was Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. Part 1, we had Gemini, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Virgo got cut off a little bit, so you'll notice that Virgo was mentioned in the Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Capricorn. All of them are kind of, we're all connected. We're all collective. So again, if you're not just looking at your sun sign, you can also apply it to any placement in your chart where you feel like it resonates and where you feel like you can invest and harness your power. Okay? So Aquarius. We're now asking that your gods, goddesses, and ascending masters. Can you guys go into the room? Because I'm doing a video. I don't want to hear you guys in the background. We ask now that your gods, goddesses, ascending masters, all that are here for your highest good, become present with us now. We ask that all messages be channeled with clarity. We ask for discernment. We ask for protection. We are grateful and thankful for this time, for this space, for this essence, for this presence. We got part 3 here, and we are introducing Aquarius now. Okay, so Aquarius. Ooh. Aquarius, I feel like we're just leaving off where we left off, which was about gratitude and fullness. 4th house, Cancer. Home, family. So Aquarius, how are you looking at stability, home, family? Areas of where you're grateful, where you show gratitude. Areas where you're I'm hearing the word pleasures. Like your family is where you receive your pleasures. Your family, your home, is where you bear your fruit, this is what's important to you. This is what is valuable to you. So Aquarius, you might need to be looking at your values, what is valuable to you, and because you know that family, home is valuable to you, this is an area of your life that you really want to put into perspective right now. I feel like a lot of you guys can use some grounding space. You can use some time alone. You can use some time in nature. You can use some time around the trees. You can find yourself maybe in a forest, or some of you might even find yourself speaking with like an elder or somebody that you feel like could be an advisor, somebody that's been there and done that. Some of you guys could be going to get actual spiritual guidance, looking for like a shaman or something of that nature, higher. You're looking for something higher. Looking for something higher, so like a sign from the higher ups, from the Most High. Some of you need to really do focus on your actual root chakra, right? This is why I feel like your value is being in question, because this is a part of like the roots of something. See, what it's showing me is that some of you guys could be separated or had to separate from people, places, and things, but this feels like from the home, from the family space. Some of you could have been separated because it's necessary and needed by choice, and by your decision. Some of you can be very stubborn, or kind of go straight for that. You sever and cut that tie, or you do something somewhat maybe abrupt, where it was something that was kind of sudden. You suddenly left, or or maybe people could have suddenly left you, or kind of left, put you in a place where you were standing alone. But yeah, I just feel like you have some things to think about, because this has a lot to do with those type of connections when it comes down to like family, when it comes down to home, when it comes down to what matters, when it comes down to what's valuable, Some of you guys could have been feeling like you didn't want to be played, you didn't want to be deceived, you didn't want to be tricked. Some of you guys fear that so much that, again, this is where you make like real impulsive or or you react very quickly, and it's immediately to cut, to disregard, to get away from, to separate from something. So either, again, you feel like you were being deceived, or you could be the one that was somewhat under some deceptive energy, being deceptive. And because of you are being deceptive, people, places, and things might have walked away from you, left you sitting alone. This is giving you something to think about. And this is why I say that you are having to spend more time in nature, spend more time with God, spend more time with the trees, the ancestors, the elders, you know, people that have been further than you, where you can receive some insight. You're looking for higher insight. You're looking for higher signs. You know, even in this, you know, I'll just say, like, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled because of your way of thinking. Because this way of thinking, see, Aquarius is an air sign, and it's the water bearer, right? And I just feel like Aquarius, you can get everywhere sometimes. You can spread yourself too thin. You can kind of be dispersed everywhere. And for that reason, you could be dispersed everywhere, meaning like you can be in too many things. You can be involved with too many things, and you know, it's hard to focus and hone into what is actually valuable. When you're spread too thin and you're doing way too much and you're here and there and everywhere, and then the things that you really give value to when it comes down to your home, when it comes down to your family and things, that's kind of what you find getting away from you. And this is what you have to reflect on, because truth be told, you didn't want it to get away from you. You didn't really want it to get away from you. This is what makes your heart full. This is what makes you grateful. This is what adds to you. This is, you know, what helps you blossom. And this is where, I don't know, I just feel like you have, see, when you get down to values and valuables, then this is where investments were made, you know. So some of you have a habit of leaving your investments, or you invested something and then you're just like, you leave it on the table. You can become detached. You're not able to connect to that stability, to that core, to that source. Why? Because again, you're spread too thin, you're everywhere. This would have to call for your attention. It would have to be something that really gets your attention, that occurs, that happens, that makes you take your attention away from everything else and place it back into what actually matters. So this lets me know that there are you guys require for changes or something dramatic to take place in order to respond to what it is that really is calling for, needing, and part of I would say needing your attention, and then only to come to find out that's really what actually means something to you, but you weren't acting like that. You understand? You weren't putting and utilizing your energy like that's what matters to you, that's what you really cared about. So this is something that you want to think about and consider now, and definitely in how you want to move forward. And when we're talking about sitting with nature or speaking to like an elder or somebody of the wise that's been there and done that, this is really seeking wisdom. And then going beyond seeking wisdom, which is really just the knowledge, the wisdom is the application of the wisdom that you have learned. So after you do and sit with source and receive what's necessary for source, and you fill yourself back up, you get your tank filled back up, and so that you're ready to approach these things and really look at and get back to what is valuable to you, and ensure that you don't lose your assets and valuables because of your decisions and choices, because of your program and the way that you've always went about things, and your ability to cut or disregard something. Okay. Also, the feeling of being deceived and not wanting to be played, that type of energy as well, or being the one that deceives or plays. Okay, that too. So that is for Aquarius. We're going to move now into Pisces. This is part 3, so if you're not hearing your sign now, go back to part 1 or part 2. Pisces. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. There's so much gratitude for everyone, really. Everyone should be able to find something that they're grateful for. Everyone should be able to find something that that they can hold on to and cultivate and grow and make more and kind of like heal and rejuvenate and empower themselves. Everybody has a little something. And this is why, again, for anybody that has not made the time yet to go to the collective full moon and Sag intuitive healing, the intuitive healing messages were actually recorded and it's been posted. So if you haven't already seen those messages, let me know so I can get that video over to you. But you're going to get a lot of answers in are there, okay, that are very reflective as to now, and the spirit of gratitude that's here for the Pisces. The energy of 7 is also standing out, not just for Pisces, but for the collective as well. So the number 7 is very spiritual. There's a lot of spiritual energy here for everyone, right? Spiritual gratitude, spiritual recognition, spiritual acknowledgement, spiritual awareness, right? And for the part 1 and maybe part 2, you guys heard me speak about the heart space and how much the heart has been just exaggerated and pinpointed in the Sagittarius full moon, which then led us to Leo, because the heart is ruled by Leo. And then it also reflected the timing of around August, right? And with you Pisces, I'm seeing the 6 and the 7, right? There's a lot of steps here. A lot of you guys, not this reading in particular, but most people that have been following me recently, a lot of our conversations, we've been talking about increments and steps and kind of how things been multiplying from there. But in this case, I'm seeing the step of the 6 and the 7. So in this heart space, now the 6, now June having Gemini, right? Gemini being ruled by Mercury, which is where it's at now and where it started for the retrograde. Gemini has been having a great influence on not just Pisces, but all signs included and inclusive. So because of this, Pisces, I feel as though the heart, the balance is coming from, because remember the 6-6 energy, which, okay, Pisces, the 24th might be a big date for you, June 24th. You got to understand that we had the 666 vibration. That vibration has set forth and set in this month of June, being June 6th, June 15th, and now June 24th. All of those days are the vibration of 666. So for Pisces, that 666 energy can very much be reflected on the 24th. And in relation to the heart space, you are going to be doing a lot of releasing and a lot of letting go. There is so much inner heart space that you need to let go of, and this is going to make you make room for what is actually being blessed into your life moving forward. There are blessings that need to and want to come into your life, but there's no room for them. There's no room for them. So you have to release and make room for what is yours, what is actually yours. There are things that are in your space that are not actually your own. And when I say in your space, I'm talking particularly about your heart space. There are things that you have placed in your heart space, which means you've taken on things from a very passionate, because your heart, because this is how you move. You understand? Especially being emotion, being water, you absorbed it. So it's like but it's not yours to absorb. It's not yours to take on. It's not yours to hold in that space, because the things that are needing, that are yours, that are wanting to be granted to you and blessed to you, there's no room for them. So Spirit is saying, until you release and let go, I can't give you these things, because these things are what's going to bring balance and stability. And the balance, see, stability to me actually really does mean movement. Stability to me is found in our ability to move. So the movement, moving into your life, and this is why August and Leo and this heart space is really, really coming out. See, Pisces, the August, the Lion's Gate could be a really big date for you as well. Not just the 24th, but the Lion's Gate. So you might want to start preparing and planning and positioning, knowing your placement, doing your self-studies, doing whatever you have to do to prepare you for that time frame around August 8th. Okay? There's just some big things happening for you this year, Pisces, when it comes down to balance and karmic debt and just cleansing and clearing, so to make sure that you're getting what is actually for you. Pisces, I feel like this solar return is also, or has also been pretty big for you. This year is not over. We're not back to your season yet, but this actual, cycle for you has been really big for you. It's been, it's been a lot. It's been more than you could have ever really asked for. We'll say that it's been more than you could ever ask for, Pisces. So I feel like you should really be focusing your energy on gratitude and releasing all that is not your own, so that you can really embrace all that is your own, that your heart space be filled with only what is for you and not anything else, to be in balance, to be in equilibrium during this cycle, this time, and this space that you're in now, because again, it's more than you could ever ask for, and you do deserve to, be in more of a celebration and celebratory state, be in unification, be in, again, just gratitude, overall gratitude. Okay, Pisces? That's for Pisces. Now we have Aries. We have Aries, and then we'll close with Taurus. So Aries is the first of the Zodiacs. This is the beginning. This is the head, Aries. You are the head. You're the head. You're the crown. Aries. Alright. I love it. Aries, you too want to go back and listen to that full moon Sagittarius intuitive healing. It's on the page, savvyroses44.com. You can also send it to me, or request for it, and I can send it to you. But yes, this, when I say for every sign, for all included and inclusive, the heart chakra is so big for all of us, and how it's going to be exposed for each and every one on an individual level is the key, right? So Aries, you being the head, you being the holder, you being the first, you being the primary. Hold on one second. Can you guys close that door because you're very loud? Okay. Aries. Aries, for you, I would say just breathe. Just breathe, just center, just ground, just feel, just be, just be, just be. And Aries, you might put your hands on your gut and your stomach and just like feel the process. feel the process. You got to remember, your stomach, your gut, your intestines are the digestive process. This is what sorts the pure from the impure. So Aries being the head, you want your mind to be just as clear as you want these two corresponding on one accord. You want there to be a rhythm. You want it to be in sync, and you want it to be in tune. That's why I say just be, just breathe, just feel, just for real. Okay? And if you have to, again, place your hands so that you can feel the digestive. You can feel the process. You need to feel the process to know that it is a process. Because Aries, I get the sense that you can somewhat be impatient. Right? Sometimes your patience is tested. Right? And this makes me feel like sometimes your kindness is taken for weakness. Because you are so loving. Right? So I just feel that there's a lot of power being cultivated within you. There's a lot of power being cultivated within you. The more that you just allow yourself to be, the more that you just allow yourself to set within space, and again inhale and exhale and feel and feel and feel. The power is being cultivated within you. Something powerful. And so this is the work right here for Aries. This is the work. Can you work on just being? Can you invest in just being? Can you spend your time in just being? You know, can you commit to that? To just being. To just being. Aries is a fire sign. So fire, this is where you're being asked to harness and take control by just being, by just feeling it, feeling it, feeling it, feeling it, knowing it, becoming so aware and being so in tune, becoming so inner knowing, right? So then when the changes that come and that are taking place as we speak, you have a knowing, because there are going to be people that don't want to tell or share with you what's going on. There's a thing, Aries, where people like to leave you kind of sitting on the edge, and sitting on the edge is the feeling of kind of like, why? What's happening? What's next? You know, they leave you in question. And when they leave you in question, it somewhat is to it's somewhat to like what is it? To kind of like string you along, in a sense, to kind of string you along by keeping you in that wondering mind, and that full of questions where you need answers, where you're looking to something outside of self, to be able to give you some insight or anything of that nature. You want to know when, you want to know why, you want to know how. So when you're untold those things, then you're willing to kind of move with the change, or move with the person, place, or thing that's in motion. You're willing to be pulled along in it until you receive, because you have the want or desire to get those answers, to get those answers, to get those questions answered. To get those questions answered. You have a desire to. So for that reason, people, places, and things can string you along, leave you sitting on the edge of your seat. So because you have a desire, they know your desire to have those things, those questions answered. So this is why I feel like really working on just being is where your power is cultivated. This is where your power and your source really comes from. And you really want to feel. And it's interesting because Aries, you are actually the head. So the head shouldn't look outside of self, when the head, the mind, the ruler that sits on the shoulders, right? The head knows. Now the head, you literally, as being a ram, you have horns, and the horns show your split. It shows your why is seen. You know, your why is seen. So once you just have to take charge. You just got to take charge. But to take charge and to move into natural force is just a state of being. It's just a state of being. So that being inner state is the balance, is the work. Okay? And that's what you should be doing in inner now. Okay? If you have any questions, if that doesn't make sense to you, if you want to go into details, if you're wondering about how does that really apply to you on a deeper level, let me know so that we can set and make the time to go into that personally. But this is where your new beginning really comes in, right? And this is where, again, you should be taking initiative. And initiative is work. Work is effort. Effort is energy. Energy is motion. So now you're not really being strung along and brought along to anybody else's current rhythm or flow, but you have taken on the initiative to create your own current rhythm and flow, because you truly are the head to begin with. So the head now takes its rightful position. We'll say that, Aries. Okay? Ashe, ashe, ashe. Lastly is Taurus. Taurus, before we get back to Gemini, and Gemini is where you want to see part 1. Okay? Taurus, we thank you for being present. Remember, all of my messages are timeless. Put your email down if you want to be added to the email list. I send a lot of messages via email. I put a lot of work out. We really get down to it. Not just videos, but real work. You got to read. You got to put forth the work. You got to study. Okay? So, Taurus. How are you aligning with your heart space? How are you aligning with your heart space? There may be 3 different paths, desires, people, places, or things. They're on different wavelengths. We'll say that. So you have something here, here, and here. But all of those extensions come from you. Does that understand? So you being the direct source, there are outer sources, 1, 2, and 3, that are extensions of you. These extensions of you are actually like paths, right? You can focus your attention on this extension, this source outside of self, this extension of self, right? And it's going to give you that information about that path, about that person, about that placement, about that reflection of yourself. And then boom, there's another one that's going to give you a different reflection, perspective, vision of yourself, because it's an extension of you. So what I'm saying to you is that you have opportunities to receive different portions of yourself. Your attention, though, I feel like you're going to have to kind of focus and prioritize what reflection of self, what extension of self is most important right now, which aligns for you right now. All of them will be addressed at a certain divine space, but right now you need to be looking at what aligns for now, so that you can put your 100% into that, and you'll know from there when to and how the other two come together, the other sources, because they're all, again, extensions of you. I feel like the reason why it is being shown this way is because Taurus, sometimes seeing the whole you, all the extended you, is too big for you to receive. You can't grasp it because it's so big. You require things to be broken down into pieces. So because you require something to be broken down to pieces, you can't digest or take it or receive it in its whole form, because it's too much to conceive or to process or to retrieve that way. It is broken down. So, but the breakdown, right? If something is whole and they had to break it down into fourths, it would be you to choose what fourth, right? Out of the four, what one out of the four are you going to take piece, take fruit, take eat of now? So, for an example, you got your top left corner, the top right corner, the bottom left, the bottom right. You're going to choose what piece you take. This piece is an extension of you that's going to show you, deliver to you the portion that is necessary and needed for you to receive. Understand, though, that that's just one portion out of the four that's going to create the whole. So all of these extensions of you are necessary, but because you are unable to receive it in its whole form because it's too big for you to process, digest, receive, retrieve, then again, Spirit has broken it down for you. It's on you to understand that these are extensions of you. So if you only take one out of the four or take two out of the four, please know that it's still not whole, because it's not whole until you take all of the pieces, all of those fours, you understand, to receive the wholeness of it all. So it's being offered to you to receive the wholeness of it all, because right now I feel like you're only receiving portions. And when you receive a portion, say for an example, you eat one slice of the fourth of the four slices, it's like you forget that there's more slices. You forget that that came from the same pie. You forget that, you understand, like you forget that this kind of goes back to in other previous readings, not just for Taurus, but in general. I always say things are like putting a puzzle piece, a big ass puzzle together. And the puzzle is so big that we can't put the whole puzzle together. So what I like to do is start putting some pieces together over here, some pieces together over here, some pieces over here. And those small pieces of the larger puzzle, it can still be big pieces. I could have put together a whole bunch of pieces, but it's still not the whole picture. So it's for me to remember that that's not the whole picture, that there's more to it. And it's on me to go back and take that piece, those pieces that I put over there, maybe on a different day, go back and retrieve them to put them together with the pieces that I done put together today. You understand? To again, get back to the whole picture. So this message is for Taurus. Taurus, it's time that you see the whole picture. Understand why things be broken down for you. And, because this is about your digestive process and how you're able to digest and receive. And so sometimes you need it to be cut up. You need it to be, pureed in order for you to receive the wholeness of it. You just got to remember that. So this is kind of the work and the effort that you got to make. Ain't nobody going to go and be like, oh, there's another slice left. Oh, nobody's going to spoon feed you. You got to put forth the work. You have to see. It's like seeing your own science, seeing yourself, seeing it for yourself, being a witness and a testament to yourself, doing the work, feeling, going through these experiences so that you gain the wisdom, so that you understand, that you collect the data, that you knew. It's like you knew the resources, you knew the feeling of the water, you knew the feeling of the fire, you knew the feeling of the air. Not because somebody told you about it, not because you're living vicariously through something else, but because you know for yourself. Yes, Taurus, this is nothing but alchemy and balance for you. And when I speak of alchemy and balance, it's those compartments, those compartments, those, how do I want to say it, like right? It's like a little of this and a little of that, but you have to put a little of this and you have to put a little of that. You have to see when, oh, that was too much, or it's the experience of it all, of actually doing the work for yourself that lets you know. You don't get to just hear about what that felt like, tastes like, smelt like, looked like. You get to know for yourself. You got to see the texture of it. You understand? Like there's a whole new there's a newness when it comes first hand, when it comes due to your own hands, due to your own work, due to your own efforts. Okay? Lots of alchemy here. Lots of alchemy here for Taurus. I thank you guys for being present with me for the Zodiacs. I did break them up into 3 parts. So if this is not for you here, because I believe this was I forgot. I can't even see it right now. But forgot where I left off. Aquarius. Alright, we began at Aquarius on this one. We moved into Pisces. We moved into Taurus. Okay? And we did Aries as well here. So if your sign is not found in this one, you want to go back to the previous, either part 2 or part 1. Remember that these readings are timeless. These are Savvy Soul confirmations. If there's something that resonates with you and you want to go deeper into it, please don't hesitate to contact me. You can contact me via email, savvyroses44@gmail.com, or you can go directly to the website, savvyroses44.com. Book your own Savvy Soul confirmation. I would love to meet with you. Again, if you haven't already, please go back to the full moon, Sagittarius, Reiki, sound, and intuitive healing. The intuitive healing was recorded. It's posted on the website, and if you can't find it or anything like that, just message me and I'll make sure that you are sent a link. Okay? Peace and love to you. Lastly, if you want to be added to the mailing list, please write your email in the comments, or you can send it to me via DM. That way I can add you to the mailing list and you can receive Savvy Soul confirmations, and also any of the work or interactive different things that we have going on inside the email, not here on this platforms. Okay? Peace and love to you. I will talk to you guys another time. It is always a pleasure, and I look forward to speaking with you again.